And I'm gonna go sit down. All right. So let's just get started as we always do in our comfortable seated position. And then, that's what I want to do. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. And then close your eyes if that feels okay for you. Relax your jaw, soften your temples. Sit up nice and tall. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Take the heads of your shoulders back and float them down. So just start to create a little length in the neck as the crown of your head begins to rise up toward the sky. And let's start to follow our breath in and out. So just watch the breath as it comes in through the nose, travels over the vocal cords, fills the chest and fills the belly. And then watch it again as it travels back up and out. And just continue to do that on your own for a couple breaths, just noticing the breath, the flow. And just notice how when we start to connect with our breath, we start to slow down. Everything starts to become a little bit more relaxed, become a little bit more focused. And we're going to do a 4-part breath this morning. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. We're going to hold it for 4 counts. We're going to exhale for 4 counts, and then we're going to hold it at the bottom for 4 counts. So if those retentions at the top and the bottom feel uncomfortable for you at all, just flow through naturally. So let's take a big inhale here. And then just let that go. All right, now we're going to breathe in. I'll do the counting. Breathe into the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently exhale. Hold it. And we'll do that again. Breathe in. Hold it. Gently release. Hold it again at the bottom. And one more time. Big breath in. Fill it up. Hold it here. Gently exhale. Hold it again at the bottom. And then just let your breath flow in and out naturally. So just coming to our breath, slowing down, quieting the mind. So I mentioned this a lot. We have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day, at least, swirling around in our head. And this is a great way to just quiet that down. There's so much going on right now that this is more important than ever. Even just take a few moments, even if you do 1 cycle of that a day, or even a couple times a day, to just quiet everything down, make a big difference. So let's sit up nice and tall. Stay right here. You can keep your eyes closed if that feels good. Just gently take your chin into your chest. Take the shoulder blades toward the floor. If you'd like, you can lightly place your hands on the back of your neck. Or just keep your hands on your lap. We're just starting to open up the neck, deepening the stretch in the back of the neck. Now let's start to take the chin up toward the ceiling. And take your collarbones toward the floor. Just do what feels good. Don't force anything. Stay with your breath. Now bring your chin parallel to the floor. So we're still sitting up nice and tall. Imagine that there's a string attached to the crown of your head and somebody's just drawing that string up toward the sky. And even take your belly button towards your chin. Now keep that length through the spine and look over your right shoulder. Just go where you can, shoulder blades still, down and away from the ears. Don't force anything, but notice your range of motion. Just notice where you can go here without judgment. We just want to check in, see what our neck is, what's going on in our neck. If there's any pain or any sensations here that feel uncomfortable, just back it off a little bit. And then bring your chin back to center and look over your left shoulder. Keep the shoulders in alignment with each other. So we don't want the twist through the spine. We're just twisting through the cervical spine, not the thoracic. And then bring your chin back to center. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. We're going to just take your head toward the front of your mat until your left ear and left shoulder meet. And then just go back in the opposite direction. From one shoulder to the other. Just go as slow as you want. Take your time. Just rotating from one shoulder to the other. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there. And then we're going to go toward the back of our mat. Same thing, just half circles from one shoulder to the other. Now this side, you may notice some crunching or crackling, maybe even a little bit more tension here. That's pretty normal. If there's a place that feels particularly tight, just let your head hang there for a breath or two. Move on. If you find another area, just hang there. Breathe into it. See if you're just going to knead that out. And then move on and just keep going back and forth. It's like giving yourself a massage on your neck. It should feel nice. And then the next time an ear and a shoulder meet, stay there. Carefully bring your head up. So we're going to take our right ear back to our right shoulder, and we're going to walk our right hand over to the right. So if you feel like you're going to topple over, you can use a block here. And then we're going to deepen this stretch over here in the left trapezius area. Take your left arm out, and then maybe back toward the wall, down toward the floor. Move it around till you deepen that stretch in your upper trapezius muscle. Keep the right ear just pressing down toward the shoulder, and don't force anything here. Send your breath over to that left trapezius, upper trapezius. And just hold it here for a few breaths. Finding that sweet spot, deepening and opening the neck. One more breath. Take your right hand onto your right ear and slowly, carefully bring your head up. Then sit here and notice the right side from the left side. Notice all that space that we just created in the left. Now do that on the other side. So take the left ear to the left shoulder and walk your left hand out. Try to keep this right sit bone down. So if you're tipping up again, use a block there. And then we'll take the right arm out, maybe back toward the wall, down toward the floor. Move it around. You'll find it. You'll know where you find it. And then stay here. Breathe. Just send your breath over to that space. So begin to open, deepen this neck and the shoulders. And then take your left hand onto your left ear. And again, just carefully bring your head up and sit up nice and tall. And imagine that string attached to the crown of your head. So we're still lengthening through the spine, and just notice all that space that we created. So let's take a hold of our strap, or whatever you have for a strap. You may need to fold it in half. You don't really have to, but sometimes it helps not having so much length on the side. If it's super long, you want to fold it in half. We're going to take the arms out in front, and then reach our arms up and overhead. Now take your shoulders down away from your ears. Pull to the right and pull to the left. Take your belly button up towards your chin. So we still want to keep that length through the torso. And then if you want, you can take your arms a little wider and maybe just do whatever feels good for you. Just get a big stretch here. We're going to add that rotation, so bring your hands down in front, and then we'll bring them up and back. So you may need a little bit more length here on your strap to get this. You want to get this extension right here across the chest. And just go slow, as slow as you need to go here for right now. And then maybe move a little bit faster, just going up and back, lubricating the shoulder blades. And then we add the figure 8. So you can take your left hand back and your right hand in front. And then the right hand back and the left hand in front. And then go ahead and just bring the strap back out in front. And put it aside for right now. Take your arms out to the sides. We're going to reach out in front and cross your right elbow under your left. And then take a hold of your shoulders. Now lift the elbows up, crawl your fingers in toward your spine. You can stay right here, or maybe bring the backs of your hands together, or you can bring your palms together. I'm going to press the elbows up and forward. Still sitting up nice and tall, so try not to lean forward here. Again, we're opening up across the chest. You should feel this across the back. Not necessarily, not the chest, the back, the shoulders. And breathe. And then unwind, bring your arms down. You can take a shoulder shrug here. Arms come back out, and then we'll take the left under the right. Same thing, start here, take your elbows up, crawl your fingers in, and then you can bring the backs of your hands together, maybe just hold on to your wrist, or maybe you can find your palms. It doesn't matter where your hands go, right? This is all about just, again, opening up across the back, the shoulders, and breathing. And then unwind, and you can take another shoulder shrug. So let's find our strap again. And we're going to take the strap and take it over the right wrist like this, okay? And then you're just going to hold on to it. Bring the arm up, and then bend your elbow. So we're going to take the left hand, take a hold of your tricep, and turn your tricep toward the front of your mat. So we're trying to get this rotation, internal rotation here. All right, then we're going to take the left arm out, thumb down, reach around behind you and find your strap. Walk your hand up to where it will go. And then we'll take that left shoulder down away from our ears, and we'll take the right shoulder down away from our ears. So a lot of length in the neck. Some of you, and you know if you can do this or not, some of you can actually clasp your hands behind you. If you don't need the strap, go ahead and do that. I can't do that. I always need a strap in this one. Draw down with the bottom hand and up with the top hand. And breathe. And just go where you can go. This is, if you have tight shoulders, this is a nice way to get into this. We're opening up. We're going to do some back bends today. So I'm opening up the chest and the shoulders. And then unwind here. Just take a breath. Just notice how you feel. And we'll do that on the other side. So the left arm's going to come out. The strap's going to come around the wrist and then take a hold of it. Reach up with your left hand, bend the elbow, and then we'll take this right hand and turn the tricep toward the front of your mat. Just as best you can. All right, once you get there, we'll take this right arm out, thumb down, reach around behind you, find your strap. Take the right shoulder down away from your ear, the left shoulder down away from your ear. So the neck is long. And we're pulling up with the top hand and down with the bottom. And the low belly draws up toward our chin. So we keep the spine nice and long. And just notice again how this feels in your shoulders. We carry a lot of tension in our shoulders. So it's always good to open them up. Release all that stuff we've been carrying around. And then let's release. Take the arms out, release your strap, and just put that aside. All right, so let's make our way onto our hands and knees. So if you need to, you can always put a blanket underneath your knees. I have a pretty thick mat, so I don't usually use a blanket, but sometimes mats are thin. And it helps to just have the mat underneath your knees for hand and knee poses. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. All right, now we're going to, I'm going to take our right arm, but I'm going to use my left. Don't worry about what I just said. Take your right arm out. We're going to bring the arm in line with our ear. Okay, now we're going to hold it here, push our left hand into the floor. Take your low belly up towards your chin. Feel the abdominals start to fire here. This may look like it would be really easy, but our abs start firing, even just with all the 3 of our limbs on the floor. We're going to add to this. So if you can, we're going to take our left leg out behind us. You can keep your toes down on the mat, or lift the leg parallel to the floor. Extend through the right fingertips and that left heel. So really creating length. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Turn your left pinky toe toward the floor to get the internal rotation of your left inner thigh. Now this left arm needs to be super strong, so really engage your tricep here and breathe. One more breath. Take your hand and knee down. And just take a breath here. All right, we're going to start with the other side. So it's your left hand, arm extends out. Hold it here just for a couple breaths. We'll stand the other 3 limbs for right now. Breathing here, noticing what's going on, working the back muscles, the abdominals. Now extend your right leg out behind you. Toes can stay on the floor, or you can lift the leg parallel to the floor. That's really going to activate the posturals. So you're going to feel this in the glutes, the back muscles, as well as the abdominals. Turn the right pinky toe toward the floor. And really engage that right arm, that tricep. Notice what's happening. I know mine gets a little tired, right? So I need to work on that, engaging the tricep to make sure that I don't start buckling in the elbow and then take your hand and knee down. Just take a breath here. Now we're going to take our tailbone toward the knees, push the floor away from you, look up at your belly button. Tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, take your tailbone toward the sky. Broaden across your collarbones. Maybe look up toward the sky. And we'll flow through that a couple times. Exhale to cat pose, round your back. Inhale to cow, broaden across the collarbones. And flow through just a couple more times at your own pace. Whatever feels good for you. It might feel good to maybe just wiggle the hips from side to side. Getting the shoulders into the action. Whatever feels good. Just flow through this a couple more times. And then come on back to neutral spine. Have a seat. And then take your legs out to the front of your mat, or the back of your mat, wherever you're sitting on your mat. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna need our strap for this eventually, but before we lie down on our backs, if you have a strap with a buckle, I know we've been doing it this way for the last few weeks, you can run the strap through the buckle, creating a little loop. And then we can always adjust the loop once we lie down. But it's kind of like a leash. You know, it's got the loop that you would hold on to, and then the length of the strap. You could even use a dog's leash. Okay, so let's just put it aside for right now. Bend your knees. We're gonna lower down onto our back. So carefully lower down onto your back and extend your legs out to the edge of your mat. All right. We're gonna flex the toes toward our shin. Reach your arms overhead and hook your thumbs together. As you inhale, just relax everything. And as you exhale, press your feet away and reach your hands toward the top of your mat. And then take your low belly up towards your chin. So full body stretch. Inhale, just let everything go. Exhale, press and reach and lengthen here. Really feel the entire body lengthening. And then inhale, just let everything go. And one more time. Exhale, press the feet away like you're pushing your feet into a wall. And then reaching your fingertips as far as you can. And then release and just let everything relax. And then take your hands down by your sides. Bend the right knee and hug it up. And just take a hold of the knee with both hands for right now. So we're going to extend the left leg straight, pushing the foot as if it's going into a wall. And those of you who've been with me for a long time, usually we are at a wall, right, when we're in a studio. So imagine that wall's there. If you do have a wall nearby and you know how to do this, go ahead and do that. For those of us without a wall, we're going to take the inner thigh toward the floor. So that left pinky toe is pointing up. So we don't want the left foot splaying out to the left. We want it pointing up nice and straight. Now we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and take the knee over to the left. And the right arm can come out like a T. So as we inhale, we're going to press our left foot into an imaginary wall or maybe a real wall, if you have one there. And as we exhale, we're just going to go deeper into our twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen, nice and long. And exhale, nice deep twist. And then bring your knee up. And just let that foot float to the floor with control. We'll take the left knee up. No, the right leg, same thing. We're going to push that right foot into an imaginary wall. We're taking that right inner thigh toward the floor. Right hand comes onto our left knee. Left hand out like a T. We're going to take the knee over to the right. Inhale, push your right leg into that imaginary wall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, nice deep twist. One more time, inhale. Press that foot into that wall. And exhale, nice deep twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Exhale, let that foot glide to the floor and just stay there. And now we'll go with our breath, one movement. So we're gonna inhale the right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Exhale, release the foot to the floor. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale and release. And one more time, inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Exhale, let that foot float. And then left knee is going to come up. And we twist. And bring the knee up. And release. All right, stay here. Left foot stays straight and long. And hug the right knee up. Now this time we're going to clasp around the shin. That left foot stays at the wall, just like before, internal rotation of that inner thigh, imaginary wall. And then we're going to take our forehead toward our knee. If that feels okay with your neck, if it doesn't, keep your shoulders down. Hold it here, push the left foot into the wall, the imaginary wall, or real. Hug your chin into your chest, take your forehead to your knee. And then release. And then we'll do that other side. Hug the left knee up. Push the right foot away. Spin that inner thigh toward the floor and then take your forehead towards your knee. Hugging into a forward bend. And release. Now we'll go with our breath here. Exhale the right knee up. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale and release. Exhale. Opposite knee up, I lost track. Inhale, release, and exhale the left knee up. And inhale and release. All right, and just stay here. Now we're going to take both knees up. And again, if it's okay with your neck and your shoulders, take your forehead to your knees. Squeeze everything into a little ball. And then inhale, release both feet to the floor and float them down. So a little bit of control with the legs. You might even feel some core work here. It's kind of like a Pilates move. Exhale, bring everything in. Inhale and release. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale and release. And one more time, exhale. Hug everything in. And inhale with control, let your feet glide and then place them down. Now bring both knees over your hips. So your shins will be parallel to your ceiling. And then take your right hand on your right knee, your left hand on your left. Press your entire sacral area down into your mat. So your tailbone, your sacrum is pressing into your mat. And then take your knees over to your right shoulder. And just to your right shoulder, and then back to center and over to the left shoulder. And back to center. So go at your own pace from one side to the other and take your time. The idea is we're pressing our entire low back into the mat. It's giving yourself a massage on the low back. So just go as slow as you want to go here. Feeling that nice massage, meeting out any tightness. You can even make circles with your knees if you want. And then go in the opposite direction. Come on back to center. Place both feet down. And then get your strap. Okay, so we talked about this loop. So if you do have a buckle, you can make a loop. If you don't have a buckle, this is what you do. You take the strap around your foot and you hang on to the each side of the strap. So you want your arms separated and you want to lock your shoulders down. If you've got the loop, we're going to put the loop right over the top of the heel. And so you want the loop long enough, or short enough, I should say, so long, short enough that you can take your left shoulder down onto the floor. Did I say right? Are you guys doing? I have you on, let me see. I got you on the right. Okay, so you're on the right. Let's start with the right leg. So we're pulling the right shoulder down, and we're just pressing into the strap with our heel. Now, if you've got both hands on your strap, you're locking both shoulders down. Yeah. Take that right thigh bone away from your chin. And then go ahead and release that leg. We're going to switch sides. So now I'll take the left foot in to the strap. And again, if you're using both ends of the strap, both hands are on each side of the strap and the hands are separated and the shoulders locked down. If you're using your loop, take a hold of it and lock that left shoulder down onto the floor. Press that left thigh bone away from your chin, and then take your low belly towards your chin. So we're pushing into the strap as we pull down on the strap. And breathe. And if you do have active low back pain, if there's only one thing you can do, this is really a good thing to do for your low back. We're opening up the hips. This is stretching the hamstrings. Press that left thigh bone away from your chin. And then go ahead and release and switch sides again. So let's all start, because I got a little confused because I stopped in the middle of it. So let's all start on the right leg again. So let's take this around the right foot. But this time we're going to take both ends of the strap or the loop into our left hand, but keep your right heel over your right hip. Lock that left shoulder down. Take your right hand, we're going to put the right hand into our right hip crease and push the leg away. Pushing that right hip away. And then the left leg is active. So we press through that left leg, we take that internal thigh toward the floor, the inner thigh toward the floor. Make it flex through your right foot. Breathe here. And then let's switch sides. So take it on the left foot. Those of you who have been with me know me. Sometimes I mirror you guys, sometimes I don't, and then I get confused. All right, so now we're on our left foot. The straps are on the left foot. We're going to take the strap in the right hand. But the left heel stays over the right hip. Take the left hand into your left hip crease. Push that left hip away. So we're getting that traction in the low back. Press through your right leg. And again, if you got a wall handy, you know what to do with it. We're going to push that right foot into that imaginary wall. The inner right thigh spins toward the floor. We lock that left shoulder down, or right shoulder down, away from our ear. And then flex your foot. So really feeling this in the hamstrings. And breathe. And then release. All right, we're going to switch sides again. Now we go back to the right leg, right foot, right over the heel. Extend the left leg to the edge of your mat or to a wall. This time we're going to take the right heel over in line with our left shoulder. So just across our body. We're still locking that left shoulder down, and we're going to take the right thumb into our right hip crease and push that right hip away. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Pull down on the strap, flex through your foot. One more breath. And then bring that leg up, switch sides. Extend the right leg out. Take a hold of the strap with the right hand. We'll take our left heel in line with our right shoulder. Left thumb's going to come into your left hip crease, and we're going to push that left hip away. Flex through your foot, draw that right shoulder down. Low belly draws up towards your chin. So that right leg is active, pressing through the heel, turning your right inner thigh toward the floor. And breathe. Always come back to your breath. And then release. All right, we're gonna do one more like this. So let's take it around the right heel again. Take a hold of the strap with your left hand. Extend the left leg out. Take your right arm now out to the right with the palm down. We're gonna take the right leg over to the left even farther. So just go where you can go here. The right hip's gonna pop way up, that's fine. Press through the left leg, extend through that left leg. You can press into your right hand. Try to keep the right shoulder down. It's a little bit more sensation here through the IT area. And then bring your leg up. And one more time, switch. So the strap's gonna come around the left heel, the right leg's gonna go long. We're gonna take a hold of the strap with our right hand. Left arm extends out, palm down. And we'll take that leg over to the right. And just go where you can here. The left hip pops up. Try to keep the left shoulder down. You can press through your right leg. And then bring your leg up. And just remove the strap. Take your leg straight for a breath. All right, so now let's take the strap around the right leg again, the right foot. Take the leg up, hold on to your strap with the right hand. The left leg extends out. Now we're gonna take our left hand into our left hip bone. Pull that left hip to the floor and then take your right leg out to the right. If you need to, put a blanket or a block underneath your right hip. Or even underneath your right ankle. Just notice what you need here. So just extending out through that right side, getting into the abductors, inner thigh. This one usually feels pretty good. And then bring your leg up and switch. The loop or both ends of your strap are in your left hand. The right leg extends straight. Right hand on your right hip bone. Most important. Hold that right hip down. Take your left leg out to the left. Flex your foot. Draw your toes towards your ear. Try to pull that right hip down to the floor. And then bring your leg up. Release the strap. Just put it over to the side. Hug both knees into your chest. Just do what feels good here right now. Now place your feet on the floor so your knees are pointing up. Pick your hips up slightly. Take your tailbone towards your heels and lower back down. Take the right foot. We're going to slide it over to the right and take your right knee in toward your left foot. So you're gonna come on the inside arch of the right foot for internal rotation. Take your left foot onto your right thigh. If that feels okay, if that's too intense, place your foot back down. Then we check our alignment. So look up like you're doing a sit-up, and then get your right knee. You want to take the right knee in line with our right shoulder. And then you can lower back down. And notice how this feels. If you're feeling any kind of pain or knee pain, you can put a block or a blanket underneath your right knee. Low belly draws up towards your chin. And if you want to take this further, you take your right arm overhead, take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. And then reach up. Draw up through the right hand. Maybe even drag your left heel down your right thigh. Low belly draws up towards your chin. So stretching through the quadricep, getting up into the psoas. Big stretch here. Just notice how this feels. And then uncross the foot if it's there. We're going to bring both knees back up toward the ceiling. Readjust your hips to create that length in the spine. And then we're going to extend the left foot over to the left so the knee drops in toward our right foot. Take your right foot on your left thigh. Check in here. If that feels too intense, then take your foot back off. If you're okay, then we're all going to look up and check our alignment so that your left knee is in line with your left shoulder. And then come back down. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Take your left arm overhead. Take a hold of your wrist with your right hand. Then we're just gently drawing that arm up. Creating that nice long line from the knee right up to the left shoulder. Feeling the stretch through the quads and psoas. You can even drag your right heel down your leg to get a little bit more length. And then release, uncross. Bring your feet back on the floor, square off your hips. Take a breath. Let the right knee drop over to the right. Now we'll slide the right foot behind our left heel. So now we're going for external rotation. That was internal. Now we're doing external. So this is it right here. This might be fine for you. Or you could take your left heel in front of your right shin, so the left knee will drop out to the left. Or a little bit more intense, you could take your left foot onto your right thigh and let the left knee drop out. So just kind of go where you can go here. Your hips will tell you what feels good. My left knee pops up really high. So this is firelog. Some people, their knee might actually be right down to their ankle. My hips don't do that. So sometimes for me, it might be even better just to have my heel in front of my shin. That's a little bit more comfortable for my hips. So just kind of figure out what works best for you. Arms can come overhead. Low belly draws up towards your chin. And then bring your feet back on the floor. And we'll switch side. Left knee will drop out. Slide the foot over behind your right heel. Right foot stays on the floor. Maybe you could bring the heel in front of your left shin. Or you can bring that foot onto your left thigh and let the right knee drop out. Arms can stay overhead. You always hold on to your opposite elbows. Or just keep the arms extended. And you might notice one hip likes this and one hip doesn't. You're going to notice all kinds of things in these poses. We just maybe tend to be internally rotated and this is not comfortable, or externally rotated and this feels really good. Just kind of aware of how these poses feel in your hips. And then let's uncross. Take your legs out to the edge of your mat. Bring your hands down by your side. And just stay here for a couple breaths and notice how that feels. Lots of activity in the hips. That's the whole hip series. We still have a little bit more to go, but with most of the poses in the hip series, which I usually do every class. So let's bend the knees, roll over to one side, and then come onto your hands and knees again. Bring your blocks nearby if you have them. Bring mine nearby. We're going to take our right foot forward. So we're coming into a lunge. Then we're going to take our hands up onto our right knee. So we want the knee slightly forward of the ankle. So we're going back into the psoas area. So you want to take the tailbone toward your right heel. Oh, Lily, I gotta move Lily. I don't want her to knock this off. Stay right there. No. I want her to knock the iPad over. All right, we're still here. Take your tailbone towards your heel. And then we'll bring the left arm up. Reach up. Now take the low belly towards your chin. So again, really feeling that through this left hip flexor, your psoas. Inhale, and then exhale, take your arm over to the right slightly. Keep taking your tailbone toward that front heel, so you're still getting this big stretch in the psoas. One more breath, and then come on up. Now, we're gonna hinge forward, frame your right foot. This is where you might need some blocks. And then we're gonna extend that right leg forward. So we're going into the hamstrings. Your hamstrings will tell you what you need here. The blocks have 3 heights, or if you have books, or even like you can use soup cans. Bend your knee if you need to. If this is really hard on your hamstrings, bend your knee slightly. We're going to draw the right hip back, press the left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, just take your belly a little closer to your thigh, but just go where you can go here. You can flex through the right toes. Target area is the hamstrings. You should be feeling this there. I'm sure they're telling you what you can do here. So again, if it's too much, back it off a little bit. Always take your blocks higher. Some of you don't need blocks. Breathe into your hamstrings. And then slide that leg back, coming back onto your hands and knees. And we'll switch sides. So now the left foot will come forward. And we're going to bring our hands up onto our left leg. Take the knee slightly forward of your ankle. Take your low belly towards your chin, and we'll reach the right arm up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your arm over to the left slightly. Inhale, tailbone draws towards your heel. Really feeling the stretch right up here through the hip flexor, through the psoas. Huge contributor to low back pain. And next week I've shown some of you pictures of the psoas. So the psoas is tight, it can pull on the low back and really cause all kinds of problems. So we spend a lot of time on that in this class. Let's come back, hinge forward, slide your left foot forward. Again, go where you need to go here. You might need some blocks. You might need the blocks on your highest height. And you'll notice one side is a little bit more open than the other, usually, typically. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, maybe lower your belly a little closer to your leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. And just breathe here. Notice how this feels. Our hamstrings are we usually tighten up during the week. We have a lot of activity. So this is just an opportunity to create a little bit of length. And then slide that leg back onto our hands and knees. You can take a cat-cow here. Take your tailbone toward your knees, push the floor away from you. Tailbone toward the sky, broaden across your collarbone. Just flow through that a couple times. And then the next time you're in cow pose, where your tailbone is tilting up toward the ceiling, turn your toes under, lift your knees just slightly off the floor. Keep your heels high right now. We're coming into a super modified down dog. And then wiggle your chest to your thighs. So your shins are almost parallel to the floor. That's how bent our knees are. All right, so we're really wiggling the chest to the thighs as best you can. Look at your knees so your neck stays long. Spread your fingers wide. And then straighten your legs. Your heels can still stay high here. And some of you who are, if you're against the wall, you can keep your heels against the wall. Broaden across your shoulder blades. Turn your armpits in towards your ears. Look at your knees. Neck stays long. Now bend the left knee and press to the right heel. And even press into your right hand a little bit more. And then switch. Bend the left, press to the left heel, bend the right knee, press into your left hand. And then just pedal through that a couple times at your own pace. Now look at your hands. Walk your feet toward your hands. Your hands can come toward your feet as well. Let the crown of your head fall toward the floor. So that string that was attached to the crown of your head, now imagine somebody's pulling that to the floor. So you're just getting a nice forward bend. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And then just hang here for a few breaths. Just let everything go here. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. And let everything go on the exhale. One more time, big breath in. Make this one loud. Big breath out through your mouth. Let it all go. Now take your hands onto your hips and come all the way up. Nice and slow. Standing up nice and tall. Feet are just hip distance apart. Hands down by your side, shoulders up, back, and down. Take your low belly up towards your chin. All right, crown of the head rises up. And then let's see, I'm gonna go lengthways on this mat. We're gonna take our feet wide. And let's take our left toes toward the front of our mat. Now find your block and place it behind your left foot. And then check your alignment. We want the left heel to intersect the back arch of this right foot. And our right toes are pointing kind of up toward the top corner of our mat. Take your hands on your hips, square off your hips so they're lengthwise, parallel to the long edge of your mat. Arms extend out. Inhale. Exhale, reach out over your toes and take your hand onto your block. And you can start with your right hand on your hip. So we're going to start to stack that right shoulder over the left. Press into your block and lift up and open up through the chest. Engage the legs, really root down through that right foot. So if you ever deal with sciatica, something you can do in triangle pose, you can turn right here, it would be our left foot. We turn the left foot out to the left a little bit more, kind of toward the block. So you externally rotate there. So just a little tip if you have active sciatica, something you can do. So we're going to use this right shoulder, stack the right shoulder over the left. Use our hand on our hip to kind of get that chest to open, and then maybe extend the left arm up. Press into your block as you reach the fingertips. And your gaze can be down at your left foot, just maybe straight across towards your wall, or even up towards your right thumb. And we did this earlier, right? We twisted through the cervical spine, so you kind of feel what feels good in your neck here. We just don't want the head to drop and hang, right? We want it to be an extension of the spine so that there's some control there. One more breath. Take this top shoulder into that imaginary wall behind you. Open up a little bit more through the chest. Take your hand onto your hip, come all the way up. And we'll switch sides. So bring the block over to the other foot. So your right foot's forward, left foot's behind. Check your alignment. Is your right heel intersecting your back arch? Extend your arms out. Inhale. Exhale, reach out over your front toes. Take your hand on your block. And we'll start with our left hand on our hip. We're going to stack the left shoulder over the right. Expand through the chest. Take your little belly towards your shin. Press into your block. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now if you want, you to extend your left arm up and find your gaze. Maybe it's down at your foot, straight across, or up at your thumb. Squeeze those shoulders, really opening up through the chest. One more breath here. And then hand comes back onto your hip. Come all the way up. Bring your feet forward. Stay here. Feet will be parallel with each other this time. And find your strap. So you can fold it in half. Actually, I'll turn this way. So you can fold it in half, and we're going to reach behind us. So your palms are facing out. Your knuckles are pointing towards your body. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades in toward each other. Inhale. Get a nice big long stretch here. Maybe even get a little bit of a back bend. Slide your hands down towards your thighs. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, hinge forward. Reach your arms up and overhead. Just let your head drop down toward the floor. Inhale. Exhale. You may need to take your hands a little wider on your strap to get a little bit more range of motion on your shoulders. Some of you are, I know some of you are super open in your shoulders and your hands can almost come to the floor. So if you've got that range of motion, go ahead. Not many of us do. And then release the strap toward your arms are reaching. Actually, you know what? That's not gonna work. Come back up, come all the way up. Let's take the strap aside. All right, let's do that again. Now this time we're going to just take a hold of our hips. Feet are parallel. Keep your blocks handy if you need them. We may not need them, but just keep them there. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, just like we did. We're going to take that back bend. And then as we exhale, hinge forward. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing in toward each other. This time we're going to take our hands down onto our maybe blocks, maybe onto the floor. Press into the floor with your hands or your blocks. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Get that length through the spine so the crown of your head is reaching toward the top of your mat and the tailbone's reaching toward the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the crown of your head toward the floor. Just like we did in our forward bend a little bit. Stay here. Slide your hands in line with your feet to go deeper into this pose. Tailbone presses up toward the sky. Look toward the back wall. Spread your fingers wide and kind of push your hands toward the edge of your mat. Breathe here. And then come into a half lift. Look up, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, draw the shoulder blades together. Hands come onto your hips, come all the way up. And then step your feet together. All right. Take your right leg back and your left foot forward. So you can be lengthwise on your mat. I'm going to face you, or whatever works for you. All right, we're going to pull the right hip back. Pull the right hip forward and the left hip back. Wait a minute. I'm going to unmute you for a sec because I just lost track. Let's see, Becky. Oh, never mind. All right, you know what? I forgot what leg we just did because I started talking. Bring your feet together for a second. I was trying to unmute somebody so I could ask you. So we're gonna start over again. Let's take our right leg back and our left foot forward. If that's where I had you, just stay there. All right, draw your left hip back, press your right hip forward. Now we're gonna inhale, take the right arm up, exhale, hinge forward. We're gonna take the right hand onto our block, pull that left hip back. So we're gonna start to stack the left shoulder over the right. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Maybe extend your left arm up. If you need to, you can always pick up your right foot and move it over to the right a little bit more for twisted triangle. Or you can always keep your hand on your low back. And then take your hand on your low back. We're going to come all the way back up and switch sides. Square off your hips. Inhale, left arm's going to come up. Exhale, hinge forward. Take your left hand onto your block. Start to stack the right shoulder over the left. Stay here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, or maybe you can extend your right arm up. One more breath, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist, and then unwind. Come all the way back up, step your feet together. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, take your elbows out in line with your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Look up toward the ceiling. Maybe even bring your elbows a little closer to your ribs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, we're going to take a gentle swan dive forward. Inhale, take your hands onto your shins. Draw your shoulder blades away from your chest. We're opening up. Draw the shoulder blades in toward each other. Exhale into a forward bend. Step back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And then onto our belly. So just start with your chin on the center of your mat and your hands underneath your shoulders. Touch all 10 toenails onto the mat and then lift your heart. So keep pressing into your toenails. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing in toward each other. Shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, drag the heels of your hands towards your hips. Take your low belly up towards your chin. So we're trying not to dump into the low back. We're trying to really create some length back here and lift the heart. Hold it here, inhale. Exhale, maybe you can lightly lift your hands off the mat or just continue to drag the heels of your hands towards your hips. And then come all the way down and just turn and look to the right. Now get your strap again. We're going to take the strap behind our back, just like we did in Prasarita a few minutes ago. So the palms are facing away from our body. Chin comes back to the center of our mat. Take your shoulder blades in toward each other. Lengthen through the legs. Inhale, lift your heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe you can take your hands a little closer to your thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe you can lift your thighs off the mat or just keep the feet down on the floor. Inhale, exhale, lift. One more breath. You should be able to shake your head no here, so no tension in the neck. And then come all the way down, turn and look to the left. Catch your breath. So you can do either one of those. You can do cobra, you can do locust, or if you want to go into Dhanurasana, into floor wheel, hands will come down by your hips, bend your knees. Chin comes back to the center of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart. Reach back and find your ankles or your feet with your hands. Now you can always put strap around your ankles as well. I don't know if I can do that. All right, so we're here, and then we're gonna kick into our hands or kick into our strap. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Imagine that there's a block between your inner thighs, so you're not slaying out your legs, you're hugging them in. The more you kick into your hands, the more you get the chest opener. So just taking this into a nice deep back bend. Maybe you can lift your thighs off the mat, stay on your pubic bone. One more breath. And then release, come all the way down, turn them to the right. You can windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Turn and look to the left, just to even out the neck. And then come back to center, hands under your shoulders. Press up and into child's pose. So take your knees wide, toes together, and take your tailbone towards your heels. Extend your arms out in front. Crown of your head on the floor. Press into your mat and a nice big stretch there. And then come onto your hands and knees. And then all the way just up onto your knees. Let's see, I'll do this way. All right, I'm gonna be facing away from you. So if you do have some blocks, you can put them by your heels. And we're gonna start with our hands on our hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're gonna go into camel pose. This is another back bend. We've been doing a lot of back bends. So again, if you need to put a blanket underneath your knees, go ahead, have the knees. We're gonna squeeze the shoulder blades together and start to look up toward the ceiling. Keep your hips over your knees. Don't let the hips fall back. Keep the hips forward and look up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe you can let your head fall back. If this feels comfortable for you, maybe you can go a little bit deeper and find your blocks or maybe your heels. But you want to get the hips back over the knees so you're keeping your hips forward. So this is basically what we just did on our belly, Dhanurasana. This is camel, Ustrasana. So just go where you can go here. You can always, another option, nice option here, is you can just leave one hand on the block and extend the opposite arm to get a little bit more extension if it's too hard to reach both. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly come all the way up. And you can go back into child's pose. Take the knees wide, tailbone toward the heels, extend out. And then come onto your hands and knees and have a seat. From here, we're gonna lower onto our backs. Keep your knees bent, find your strap. We're gonna place the strap under our butts. Right under, it's like the top of the thighs and the bottom of the butt cheeks. Take a hold of your strap so your palms are facing up toward the ceiling. Thumbs are pointing out toward the edges of your mat. Walk the heels in toward your buttocks. Lift your hips toward the ceiling. Keep your knuckles down on the floor. Don't let them float up. Keep the knuckles down. Pick up your right shoulder and walk it underneath your chest. Pick up your left shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. Now lift your hips toward the sky. Take your low belly towards your chin. Take your quadriceps towards your hips. Root down through the soles of your feet. And then breathe here. Don't hold your breath. Make sure that you're exhaling as well as inhaling. Inhale, lift your hips maybe a little bit higher. Some of you might even be able to come up onto your toes. Squeeze those shoulder blades underneath your chest. One more breath. And then slowly lower the heels. If they're up, lower your vertebra one at a time down until the tailbone places down. And then let your knees just sway from side to side. Just windshield wipe your legs from side to side. Hug your knees up into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. You can move the strap from underneath you. We are done with that. All right. Keeping your knees over your hips, take your right ankle over your left thigh. You can always leave the left foot on the floor and just gently press your right leg away. Or if your left foot comes off the floor, slide your right hand through and clasp behind your left thigh. And you can always, actually I lied, you can always use your strap here if you need it. You can take a strap if it's hard to reach behind your leg. Draw that left knee in towards your chin. Press your right elbows gently into your right leg and press that left leg away. Maybe take your legs over slightly to the left. And then bring your legs up and switch sides. So the right foot can stay down and you can press your left leg away, or you can bring that right foot up, slide your left hand through. Oops, hi Lily. Or take a hold of, reach around behind your right leg. She came out of nowhere. Draw your right knee towards your chin. Use your left elbow to press that left leg away. Maybe take your legs over slightly to the right to just deepen that stretch. And then come back to center, uncross. Take your arms out like a T. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Scoot your hips over to the right, and then take your right leg over your left, and knees come over to the left. Try to keep the right shoulder down. If it's uncomfortable to have your legs crossed, just uncross. Just come into a twist, whatever twist you like. The gaze could just be up at the ceiling. Bring your knees up, uncross. Take the hips over to the left, cross the left over the right. Take your knees over to your right. And then bring your knees up, uncross, hug your knees in again. This time take your forehead to your knees, give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. Taking yourself into a tiny little ball. And then extending your legs and finding Shavasana. So you can take a blanket, roll the blanket up, and place it underneath your knees. That's a really nice way to relieve back pain in Shavasana if you're feeling any kind of tightness in the low back. You can bend your knees and bring your knees together, take your feet wide. That's another thing. If you've got a couch nearby, you can bring your legs up on your couch. All kinds of things you can do for Shavasana, or just take traditional Shavasana with your legs straight. We even kind of here scoot the shoulders underneath our chest, just like we've been doing in our back bends today. Keep the chest open, palms face up. Relax your jaw, soften your temples. Relax your fingers and your toes. And then let your entire body just melt into the earth beneath you for these next few moments. And I'll ring the chimes when it's time to come out of this. So just let everything go. You can begin to bring awareness back into your body, bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Reach your arms overhead, get a big stretch, maybe even yawn. And when you're ready, make your way over to one side. Come up to a comfortable seated position. And you can keep your eyes closed here, if you want. Just notice how you feel. How are you feeling since you got on your mat this morning? Maybe just feeling a little more open. Maybe just feeling a little more peaceful, a little more relaxed. Now let's take our hands to our heart center and silently thank yourself. Molly's having a moment here. Silently thank yourself for getting on your mat this morning, for all these great things that you're doing for your body, but also for your mind and your spirit. We'll thank our friends for joining us virtually this morning as well, just sending out beautiful, grateful energy to everybody who participated this morning. And then I thank you so much for joining us, for joining me this morning. Thank you for taking your time to join this class. May we have peace within ourselves so that we can spread peace and love into the world. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. I think I can unmute you now. So I guess I can't unmute everybody. Yeah, you can unmute yourselves. I guess I can't unmute you all. I can only mute you all.
Thank you, Karen. It was a great
Thank
class.
you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. It was so good to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Nice class.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks, Francis. You're so sweet. It's so good to see you guys. I love this. I was thinking about that, how it's been so long since we've had an in-person class. It's
I know.
I know. And I just feel so bad for those people at the Y. I don't have their contact information. I just know so many people who would want to be a part of this. I mean, those of you from the Y. I mean, the Tennis and Racket Club, it's going out through the Tennis and Racket Club. So they're getting the information where I teach. But the Y, it's only because luckily I had your emails. Are you guys on my list? So I feel bad. Anyway, so it's good to see everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. I'll send out information, but it's always going to be this number. So if anything, it's my phone number. Type it in, makes it easy.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
And bye.
Bye, Karen.
Bye, Lizzie.
I'll talk soon. Bye.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye, Janessa. Thanks for joining, Janessa. Paula's getting another dog. That's what she told me. She's going to Frosted Faces today to get another. She's gonna do a fling.
I was on mute. Okay. No, I
yeah.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna come. One of our friends is our mutual friend Paula. She's been coming the last couple of weeks, and she's got a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Yeah.
so
This
I
is
can't
great,
wait to see-
Karen. Thanks
Oh,
so
thanks.
much. I'm
Thanks
not a
so-
normal person to do this, and it's actually, I really like it. So.
Oh,
thanks.
good. Yeah, this isn't a traditional class. It's a more therapeutic yoga class, so it's kind of nice for everybody. So
Yeah.
So good. Well, thanks. We'll see you soon. We need to get together sometime.
Yeah.
Bye, Lisa. Are you still there? I see her. I don't know if she left or what, but I see her. And I see my mom. Hi, Mom.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah, there's Mom. Heather was on last week, but not this week. So anyway, bye. We'll see you guys soon. Love you. Bye. Oh, I want to do something. Chat. I'm going to end.